Nope, it's not. We tried.
We did try. We just had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Getting started with our Women Let's Talk About corner. Our promo, our intro video did not play there. So quick little introductions. My name is Crystal Almeida. I'm the CEO and founder of the Mom Link, this incredible community that we're joining you here from. And with us, we've got 4 ladies here making the Women Let's Talk About It corner.
And a little gentleman.
I love his shirt, by the way. I love his jersey. That's a good one.
Oh my goodness. Go all the way. All right, ladies, go ahead. Let's introduce ourselves and jump right into this conversation about finding harmony and peace and work-life balance.
Janae, I can see the ring light on your eyes. If you want to like shift it a little bit, there we go. Because it's like,
I hate that. That's why I wear glasses. I'm like, yeah.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Women's Let's Talk About a Corner. My name is Mary Massey. I am Director of Media for the Mom Link. Who's next?
I'll go. Hey, everybody. My name is Janae Pitts. I'm also known as the Travel Vet. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for the Mom Link.
And I am Camille Jones, and I am the Program and Educational Director here in the Mom Link.
Y'all, she got that sexy radio voice. Y'all know I'm just saying, hey.
I try.
Well, let's jump into this conversation. And ladies, first of all, let's everybody give a quick little shout out to Miss Camille Jones. It was her birthday this week. And I don't say birthday, I say birth week and birthday month. If you ask my husband, it's all about celebrating the whole month. So Camille, happy birthday to you, Queen. Happy birthday to you for this whole month. Take advantage, milk it, my friend. Get your kids, your husband, and everybody around you to do things for you this whole month in celebration of you and being a mompreneur, a female entrepreneur, trying to find harmony and balance in life as a mompreneur. And I know it isn't easy. So definitely take advantage, Camille, of this week being your birthday. And me personally, I feel like I'm always trying to find opportunities to take advantage of where we can get more support as mompreneurs. So if you're a mompreneur listening in on this conversation, watching the replay, drop us a heart emoji in the chat so we know you're with us, so we know where you're coming from. And
I think your mic, can you hear us okay, Crystal? Because I think you have a little bit of garble going on with the microphone.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I thought it was just me, so I was like,
I did too. That's why I just put it. I was like, wait, hold on.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but keep talking and see if
Do I sound like
we're having
sexy robot or really
you sound like a robot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a sexy one. All right. Okay, I'm gonna pass you ladies to Mike.
Yeah. So what Crystal, this is the power of community and power of doing it together. So when one person's mic lags or there's little technical difficulties, we got our sisters' voices to pick up and show up and stand up for us so we could keep it moving. So as Crystal was talking about, we are in the Women's Let's Talk About It corner where we love to talk about some interesting conversations that, us women, we may be thinking about it. We may talk to it with some of our close girlfriends, but we don't really always speak up. Well, here in the Women's Let's Talk About It corner, we talk about everything from business to relationships to boundaries to systems and everything in between. It's all about no longer putting us in the corner, letting us stand up, speak up, and use this power, which is our voice. So today we are talking all about achieving harmony and that empowering women in business and their personal and business lives. So let's get this conversation started. This is a great conversation for me. I love it because I always like to remind people, especially where I'm going through right now, is I still sit here in awe that 1 year ago, 1 and a bit year ago, I was sitting at my desk by myself feeling like that the world was just clouding in on me because I felt like I was doing everything alone. I didn't know if I was coming or going. And I didn't even know if women around me even cared to hear me. you know, because I was raised in a society where we were always, you know, it's a dog eat dog world. You know, we always looking at trying to one up somebody. So are people being genuine? But when you really do align yourself with
Hey, what's up,
the women that really do see the business that you're trying to achieve,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, it's beautiful how much harmony is coming into my business and life because of that connection. So this is it. We're going to continue on with the conversation. Hopefully Crystal's mic is working.
I mean, testing. Testing.
Let's hear.
Am I still a robot, ladies?
You're a robot. You're a robot, but you look cute though. You're a cute robot though. Yeah,
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
And I got not to do what I did: jump from your computer to your phone and call it a day.
There you go.
So this lifestyle, this balance, this, you know, I'm so glad. I'm glad we're talking about this conversation because, yeah, what is that? Did you say balance? What's the definition? What does that mean? And so I don't have a balanced lifestyle. I don't. I would be a really a hypocrite if I said I did. If I make it look easy, y'all, I'm sorry. Mary is really good at making it look easy. So I mean, I'll be in awe of her. But I will tell you this: I'm going to take a chapter out of Danette, the Strategy Lady Moss book, when she talks about in her story how she didn't have balance in her life. So she called it like blend, you know, wherever what life comes, like, you know, that happens, business. And she just said, hey, I just got to blend it together. And I just really never heard that before. Because one of the things for me, Camille and Mary, is balance sometimes put a lot of stress on me. Like I supposed to be that mommy, that daughter, that caregiver, you know, all of these things. And I'm supposed to have everybody's supposed to get all that attention equally. So it's so much stress to be able to have that word in my mouth, the vocabulary, because I know I'm not living up to what that's supposed to look like, if that makes sense. And so when Danette said something about blend, I'm like, oh, that took a lot off me to be like, I might not be able to be that perfect in every aspect of giving everybody the time, but I can always blend it together with what's going on in life. And it makes me feel a little bit better about myself and not as guilty about not being able to do what I can't do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you know, I agree with you, Janae. That part. Oh, Mary, we can't hear you. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you, Camille.
That happened to me before. So maybe you have to go in and come back out. But, you know, I wanted to talk on what you were saying just now there, Janae, about that whole balance and guilt. And I feel like a lot of times we are, let's see, hold on, we're just trying to get our microphones working, but we'll get it going. So what I feel like when it comes to that balance and the guilt, that's a lot of reasons why we feel like we put so much on our plate, thinking that we could do it all. And just because we don't want to upset any parties. So we're putting all of this meat and potatoes on a little small saucer when it should be on a larger plate. But because we feel guilty, we don't want to let that potato out. We want to make sure that the meat and the potatoes and the gravy all comes together. We're trying to put it. And what happens with that is we get that burnt out feeling, or, you know, there's a lot of things that actually get missed. You know, when we're doing so much at one time, we actually end up doing a lot less than we could if we worked at one step at a time. But that I for myself, everybody always says it too. I call myself Cam's World, because everyone's always like, Camille, you're always here, there, and everywhere. You're doing your We Got This, you're doing the Mom Link, you're Ubering here, there, and everywhere. How do you do it? And you're still being able to go and have a great time at your life. I do it because I have balance and I finish it one step at a time. I have my time. Between 6 and 8, I do this. Between 9 and this, I do that. So they're all allotted. So it's looking like I'm doing so much, but I'm actually not. It's all in a system. The power of having a system, both in your business and personal life, it's balance, right? And hopefully Mary can talk.
No, Mary can't. Oh, Mary, can you go out and come back in? Would that work? No? Listen, when it comes to these, I got it. Okay. All right. So y'all heard what Camille said. She has a system, save yourself time, energy, and a migraine, but she also has a calendar because if you notice, she said from this time to this time, from this time to this time, from this time to this time, right? So that is a start. If you don't have that and you consistently are out of source or out of, whack, and but you got all these lists of things to do, but you don't have no game plan or an action plan to take, for the next day. I always say plan your day or your day will plan you, right? So that goes along with this lifestyle. I told you guys I don't have balance, but I have blend. Do y'all know for my time frame, I put in blocks of where life will happen. Y'all probably like, what does that mean, Janae? Life will happen. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you wake up, maybe later than you expected to do, so your day is getting started. It's like waking up and stubbing your toe. Life happened, right? Or when things are not working accordingly, like you want them to do, like your internet shut off, the lights shut off, or something overflow. Life happens, right? So you have to put in life too, because sometimes, Camille, I think when we have a calendar or something planned out, though, we want to have it to the T. Like you said, from this time to this time, right? We got that. But what happens if something happens in that time block that throws us off for the rest of the day? It's like we're out of sorts, right? But if we give ourselves grace and have like, as I would say, that audible or that outlier in there of when it's going to happen, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's when. We don't know when. So, but if we already allocated an hour for life, I just put in literally my calendar life, and I put a circle around it because I know that no matter what my time hack is, I know I got an hour because life is going to happen. I don't know what is going to happen, but 60 minutes, it might be 5 minutes extra here or 10 minutes extra there or something there. But you got to give yourself that time, because if you do that, stick, and things run over, it will make your balanced life that you had planned out chaotic, right, Camille?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you're talking about that, because you know what? A lot of people, and we're programmed, unfortunately, from childhood to have this quote unquote exact same path, this exact same system of this is what's supposed to happen, when it should happen. We have a schedule, and there's no bumps on the road, right? We don't really, and maybe even if we're told that we should have a plan B, we never think about it. We're always still stuck on that plan A. And you are right. If we're not even thinking that life does happen, which it does, look what's happening here on our live today, right here. This is a prime example. There's 4 of us and we're here, but technology is saying not today, right? But we find a way to get it done. And this is the thing that we have to understand, that exactly what you said, life happens. I actually did a talk with some of my clients this past week. I do these Dear Camille segments. I was doing them on LinkedIn, but now I've moved them on with just my clients. And this week's discussion was actually called Dear Camille, Life. And the premises behind it was exactly what you said. We do have these plans. Just like I said, I have these a lot of times of when I do things, but I also have the awareness of knowing that life does happen. It's not about if it's going to happen, just like what you said, it's when it's going to happen. So when it does happen, I don't go in as much. I can't say every time, because I am human. We're human. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up here on this stage and say to you, I never, when the hits the fan, I'm all gravy, baby. I just wipe it up. No, sometimes I'm just like but it's how long do I stay in that moment, moment until before I transition. And it's because of my awareness and understanding of life and balance, and knowing that life does have its way of making its own plans, that I don't stay in this emotional rut, because I also have the awareness and understanding that staying in this rut isn't going to change what happened in this current moment. We got to just keep it moving. Let's go. What's on the next that's not going to burn us out or, make us feel like as if, I guess that's it.
That part. It's like you had said earlier, you had mentioned a plate, putting things on a girl. We ain't got no plate. We got a platter. we got a platter. If you're a mompreneur, you got a platter. Summertime right now, you definitely got a buffet line going on for real, because everybody's at home now, right? If you got some smalls, I'm talking about little people, they at home. If you got some talls at home too, eating you out of house and home, you guys feel me, So with that, again, you had your routine when they're in school or when they're doing what they're doing during the day. And so that gives you that space, right? I'm going to tell y'all real talk, real truth. I am currently in a caregiver position where I'm taking care of my parents and a mom. And I'm taking care of my aunt. So, that's a new thing for me. But I swear, I was like, I got to go out here and I got to get me some office space because I need some time where I got to get away to do some work where I can focus and not be the caregiver, the mommy and the cook, and now get this, I got a housekeeper that comes in. I got nurses that come in. So don't think, the delegation is there, but still with all of that going on here, my mind still is not focused. My mind is not focused. I need to really exit the premises and be able to have that space of a long time to be able to, for me to function in a way that I know that I can function. And so that balance blend, as I like to say, for me, even things in place still make you have to have that extra strategy when everybody's at home for the summertime now. It makes the house more crowded. So I always tell people, if you have you had a schedule, you had your balance, you kind of had, your system, your routine before the summertime. And now everything seems to be up in the air. If you can get away, Starbucks right down the street. If you got a Barnes and Noble, it's down the other way. It doesn't necessarily have to be an office space that you have to pay. But sometimes you need to let yourself out to reset, to come back, to get it all back together again. Because today, technology not being great, these one of them things that we'd be like, boy, we got to go and we have to reset and start over, which is exactly what we did. We got out, came back, reset, still didn't work right, but guess what? We still rolling with it, right, Camille?
That part. And that's what I love that you said that. It's how we understand that we have to sometimes, I like that. Oh, it's like you're talking to me, you lived my week this week, Janae, honestly, because this week is all I was talking about with my son, that rest and relax is a part of wellness. And we need to know, even though we have to go and we have all these expectations and the things that we need to do, a form of balance is also taking it back, resetting, rewinding, getting yourself, right back onto, just sometimes, when I have a workout bench, and sometimes when I'm overworking out, the nuts on the side tend to loosen up. But it doesn't completely fall apart, but it gets a little bit shaky. But you know what? That's when I stop and doing the workout and say, you know what? Let me stop this and tighten it. Let me take the time out to pause and tighten it. And that's how I see my mindset. And even when I'm doing, because of the disarray that does happen, especially when we're put into situations where we are, an additional caregiver. I love that you outsource that. You see the value of outsourcing, and not only for getting things done, but even for your own mindset and your own time, right? Your time is so valuable and you need to have that reset. And I love that you were talking about that, because I was saying that to my son who plays high level soccer, and he's always going. He's I always say, if all else fails, he'll be an amazing underwear model. He is so fit, it's ridiculous, because he's always working out and he's always training. But his body keeps the score. And I've been telling that kid, you need to rest. That's a part of wellness. And what happened this week? He had the worst migraine and couldn't even get up. And I was like, because you're overworking, you're not hydrating yourself, and you're not eating the proper food. Your body's saying stop. And that's what I love that you talked about, even with balance. We need to have that. And now he's a stallion. He's like, hey, I'm ready for the World Cup now. Just took that time to rest, reset, and get back into it and get that balance.
So I even hit you with this, because you're a fitness in that world, and that used to be a past life of mine, in my previous life. So I love to snowboard, but I also like to skateboard, and I don't hoverboard. That's only because of the other people. But now that they got the hoverboard, but they also with all these things, skateboarding, snowboarding, hoverboarding. All of these things take balance, right? But not only do it take balance, it takes strength from a particular part of your body that allows you to balance. It's not your legs like most people think it is. It is literally your core, that midsection.
Right there.
If you're falling down or you can't get back, it's because your strength is not where you think it is. People tend to think it's in your legs. Camille, they jump on it and think it's in your legs. No, It's in your core. It's the way that you are balanced and how strong it is to hold you up there. So think about this in reference to who you are as a woman, as a wife, as a spouse, significant other, auntie. I say we're always mothers, daughters, sisters, aunties, cousins. We're something to somebody, right? In all things. But when we talk about balance in life, in our life, and things of that nature, think about you being on that skateboard. Think about being on that hoverboard. Think about being on um, the snowboard. You are the core. You are the strength.
Mm.
You are that. And if you are not strong, everything seems to collapse and fall down. So when that happens, like Camille was saying about her son, you have to, the body keeps score. But if you're out of the game, everything else collapses. So understand the strength and the value in being balanced is you. You and first and foremost being you. So we can do everything and all these things. Yeah, we got the S on our chest, all of that. But again, if you're not strong
Mm.
and that core is weak, you being the core, then that balance will not be there. Period. So it all still starts with you. So we can talk about the time schedule. We can talk about lifing happens. But again, when all of that's said and done, effectively, it's still you who is the strong one to keep it moving, good, bad, or
Mm.
showing up ugly. Right, Camille?
Oh, you know what? Janae, I'm just gonna say it. Look out for my upcoming post on balance, core balance. You just hit so hard in so many different areas, not even just in your physical, but in your mindset, in your
Mhm,
perspective, in your personal, in who you are becoming.
mhm,
And that also comes with that patience too and working on it. I love that you talked about the balance because unfortunately this society has made us feel like as if, oh, we're working on our core just to get abs. Oh, but you know what? We are when we have because we have 2 feet, that keeps us balanced. But
mhm,
they don't tell us about the fact that our equilibrium could be off. We can be not strong in our core area, which makes us people don't understand this whole core area is for balance, it's for strength, but it's also for your mindset and your digestion. And when all of that goes disarray, right? How are you going to have balance in your life if you don't have balance in your core? If you don't have balance in yourself and who you are becoming, right? I love that you use that as an analogy, and I'm going to actually incorporate that into a post because there's so much power in that core section. And when you look at that, if you're using that core section as an example of even your own life, I love that
mhm,
you put the two together of how they both like if you look at the balance of how you are as physically, you still need to have that balance in yourself mentally, emotionally, within your business, within your finances. Because with one little nick off, it does really, it's like a domino effect. But
it
it's
is.
a great analogy of how you used that as your core center of everything else within your whole infinite eight of your whole being. I love that.
That
And also,
part.
women, we need to understand that it's these conversations are conversations that we must have because I don't know about you, just like I said earlier, at one point, I always felt alone. I was the only child for 10 years. And now that I'm getting the opportunity to have these conversations, these corner conversations, it's opening up my perspective and my own eyes to the things that I desire in my life and where I need to regain that balance that I may have, went through the cracks, may have fallen through the cracks. I'll give an example. I'm just going to pull it back. And this is what I love about the Mom Link the systems. I had no idea one of my biggest causes of my imbalance within my whole understanding of my organization of my business was not having a core system. I had things here, there, and everywhere, so much that I was in a disarray. And I didn't even realize how much that chaos was trickling down into my personal life and into my sleep and into even
Mhm,
how I was showing up for myself because I wasn't balanced in one area. It really did. And it wasn't even in that area was such a significant area because that's something that I'm building. And again, because I've been in environments and I'm showing up in these places and learning. You know, we're constantly learning and applying it to our own individual, unique lives, understanding that our journey, our paths are all different, diverse, but it doesn't mean that somebody didn't walk on a similar path prior to that you could have learned from or grown or made it even into your, you know, a wheel was already invented. Now we're putting flowers and butterflies because that's how I make it original. And that's how I see
Flowers and butterflies. I love it. I love it.
it.
So with that, listen, everyone, we can give you tips, we can give you tricks, but everybody's different. It's not a one size fit all. It's a try it. Try. I don't like the word try. It's a triumphantly
Ooh,
assigned task. I say triumphantly ahead of time because there's something that you're going to master.
yeah,
Something that's going to be a part of your toolkit, something that's going to be a part of your life that you can implement. So trying is never in the ball game, right? Y'all, you either do it or you don't. So you're going to do it. Like Nike said, just do it. And then just identifying what Camille just said, systems. Again, we talk about save yourself time and energy and money. It still comes back to the
yeah.
system of life, the system of being a wife. Y'all, come on now. Y'all know y'all got those marriage classes and they talk about everything with marriage. I've been twice removed married. So hey, think I got the master's degree. I'm going for the PhD, right? But you have that in relationships. No matter what, you have a system to your relationship. Somebody's going to pick up the children. Somebody's going to drop off the children. Are you going to be the picker upper? Somebody's going to cook. Somebody's going to clean. Somebody's going to do wash the laundry. Somebody going to fold the laundry. I mean, everybody has a system somewhere. You just don't identify and knowing that that's what you guys have it. But y'all just really didn't put it out there. But you have it. So now identify it. Identify what your system is. And then here's the deal. Once you guys know what it is that you're doing in your life, just as a wife, as a mom, everything like that, then you can like, okay, there's some ways we can improve this, we can streamline this, we can take this one out, put it in, because now you got a foundation to
Yes,
go by. That
yes.
feedback, if you ever have, I mean, I've never had a family type of meeting, whatever, but I heard about them, right? So let me tell you what I heard. So I hear that these family meetings, y'all come together and you sit down and everybody has their feedback, right? But I heard someone tell me, say this. They said, hey, how am I doing as a mom? How am I doing as a spouse? How am I doing as this? And then they were getting feedback at their family meeting. That was great. I was like, oh, that's cool. But again, one of those things at that family meeting that you guys incorporate is what you guys are already doing, identifying them. So then now you can allot to say, oh, okay, we're doing this right. This is what we need to improve. And it works for the family. I mean, just to get a start, a tip, a trick, or whatever the case may be, but it still comes down to it. And if you like Camille, being solo by yourself, and you ain't got nobody to talk to but the dog or the cat, call us, just reach out to
Exactly.
someone in a community or someone that's in the industry so that you can still bounce things off of them. Because I do understand being by yourself, you don't really have a human being to talk to. Are you that mom that got a 6-month-old that don't just say da 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 mama mama mama, right? So you have to balance these things in reference to actually getting your information out to know what it is. So basically understanding what it is that you're already doing. Put it on paper. What are you doing right now? Because some things are already right. You just don't know what they are because you haven't identified them. You just have to improve on some things, just to tweak some things to make it a little bit better. And then understand that life is always going to happen. And you might be like Camille said, in those aspects. So again, we can give you these tips, tricks. We can give you the ways on how to do it. I love that Camille's going to come back with the core, but it still inherently starts and ends with you. Because if you remove yourself out of the equation, really think about what life would be like for your left to your right, to your loved ones, up and down around you, and see what really you think life is chaotic now. Just think about how it would be if you was not there, So understand that you're the glue in most cases that holds everything together. Over to you, Camille.
Oh, I love that. And see, this is what I love about our communities. Yeah, we have so many women from different walks of life in different stages and different experiences. Like if you don't know Janae Pitts yet, it's time for you to get to know her. She runs amazing group coaching bi-weekly calls, both on the Clubhouse. It's every second and fourth Thursdays in the Mom Link Clubhouse, and then we move it over to Zoom. And when I tell you, amazing Janae, she has not only traveled around the world literally because she's a travel queen, travel vet, I should say rather. She also comes with a wealth of knowledge in terms of management, in terms of of understanding even people's diverse perspectives. And bottom core, what she just said, what do you need to do? Here are the tools. She'll provide the tools, the funding. She knows everything about funding. She could connect you with this person. She could do all of these different areas. But it does exactly what she said, requires you to take that action, for you to show up for yourself. And I'm telling you, the amount what I've learned from Janae, especially the back end. So many of us have this amazing vision, of our business. I really do literally think in colors and shapes. I know we all do, but I literally do. But then it's great when you have other people that can say, okay, now we're gonna make these little these cotton puffs in the sky actually translate into a cup, right? As opposed to just being, oh, I see, and Janae is very good at that. Just like she uses those simple examples like the table. I actually do have a large family. So I'm very close to my mom and my dad's side of the family. So aunts, uncles, that's what I do have large of. So it made me laugh at exactly how you use that, even without you, because of the experiences you've had in your life. You see how even at a table, regardless if it's a family table or if it's at a business table, or even if it's at the table with yourself in the mirror, right? You have to take that inventory, because how do you know if you're even going on the right path if you can't scale, if you can't look at what you've already done? How can you? That's why failure is actually a tool that we need to have so we can better understand where we're going, right? Instead of getting stuck in the funk, right? Or even when we're having these conversations, we understand these conversations are all about diverse perspective. It's not about attacking each other. That's another thing too. We don't attack each other's person. We talk about the solution of exactly the situation that's at hand. But we have to have these in place. And that's why it's great to have these communities to bring back that balance. And also sometimes even for me, Janae's queen at this for me, and I'll say it on stage in person. Janae is queen of getting that the fishing rod, throwing it all the way up to Canada and reeling me back in. Right? Sometimes Camille needs to be reeled in and realigned. Like she's like, girl, you're supposed to be in Lake Erie and you jumping in Lake Michigan. Girl, you better get your ass back. Oops, you better get your butt back where you need to be, because you didn't forget it over there. Right? And sorry, that was my little trying to speak like Janae. Janae has the most beautiful accent. So I was just trying to be that Southern belle, but she's great at doing that rewinding back. And that's what I really do value, being in communities. And that's why even with wellness, environment is a part of wellness. Knowing who it has the best interest and sees your vision too as well. Like sometimes, throw that fishing rod in and reel you back in to get you back on track, because sometimes people are just going around in the circle. Somebody is like what Bob Proctor, I read one of his books. A lot of people can't escape a jail they don't know they're in, right? But when somebody can remind them and say, hey, you know what, let's think about, let's reevaluate and let's get back on track, or just in general, not even getting there in the first place. And I have to say, you see how you talked about the babies babbling and not being able to have conversations with them? Let's not forget about the teenagers who only give you one-liner answers. I think they're worse than the babies, right? I really do. Like I asked my son, "How's life? Good. How's school? Good. How are you feeling? Good. Where's the potatoes, man?"
Listen, I thought that was just me. I said, what happened to y'all vocabulary once y'all hit 13? It
disappeared, but their stomach
did it digress?
All of a sudden they just became hungry all the time. But with that hunger, they lost half of their vocabulary. It's right. They are the worst. Sorry.
You know what? We might be on something. We're going on a tangent, but we might be on something, because I had 3 boys, and that's just how I know. It's like, when they appetite increased, their vocabulary did decrease. Is that because they was doing too much exercise feeding their mouth? And they got tired of forming words,
exactly. That's what it is. And you know what? I just have to say this one last thing about this. I mean, not one last thing, but just in general about why I love this Women's Corner. See how we can just go in between the topic and just be women. I love that, because there's been so many times where I'm like, Camille, it must be me. I'm doing a bad job. It's my kid. There's something wrong with him. And then I jump into the mom, and they're like, girl. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And what's beautiful is we're all, again, diversity, different walks of life, different stages and ages. But one thing's for true. It's not us, it's them. That's my new motto.
I love that. I love that. And but then I even love even more, Camille, what you said. First of all, I think she about to make me cry over here. I was like, if you don't cry, you gotta laugh, right? So I'm like, let me laugh my way through this. Oh, she gonna bring me tears. Let me laugh. I'm gonna do like our Angeline. We have another mom like me, her name Angeline, and she teaches us about laughter. So I'm over here doing one of her techniques so I won't cry. But it was so amazing. Thank you, Camille. But she said that with our boys transitioning over and becoming who they are, with their vocabulary, and it's not us, it's them. But the key word was you find out when you're talking to someone, like, I'm now a girl mom. I was a boy mom for the majority of my life, and now I'm a girl mom, and it's like brand new. And I'm like, is it me, or is it what's happening right now? I don't understand. But having conversation with other girl moms, I now feel a little bit better because I'm like, it just ain't me.
Yeah,
It's them. So when she said that it's not us, it is
and
them.
that's a form of balance. Once we get that self-awareness that is them, there will be a realize that, hey, you know what? Take it with a grain of salt. I pick my battles now, right? Because I know that this is, but I also respect, I know that they're also going through these things too, because of the fact that we've had these open conversations. So, going to the title of this room, Achieving Harmony, just think about an orchestra. An orchestra is a mixture of diverse instruments. You have trombones, trumpets, and everything, flutes, violins, clarinets. They sound different, they look different, but in order for them to come and make this beautiful music collectively that makes us sway, they gotta play in harmony and harmonize. So what I see in empowering myself in my business and personal, what has really opened up my eyes over this last year and a half, is the power of community, the power of even being called out in a nice way, not nice, I mean, in a supportive way. When you know what, you're bound, you may sometimes feel like as if you're balanced, but in reality, you're going like this. It's great when you have those people around you that can call you out because they see that they have a vested interest in you. As well as when you also recognize that you can only control how you react to certain things, and you can't control the external. Just like what Janae had said, life happens. That's the number one thing that happens besides taxes and death. Life, it happens, and we can plan, but we also need to plan to understand that it's not always going to go as planned, because that really sets our mindset. It puts our mindset at bay, I should say, rather. And I love, again, I'm just recapping everything that was said. Yes, Sayla. Sayla's been going through such a growth, both in her business and personal. It's fantastic. She's just here in the chat here. But I also love the fact that you brought back to, I'm just doing a quick recap for anybody else who's just joining in now, that we talked about balance in our physical, in our mental, in our spiritual, and in our business. And a great way for us to even look at the perspective of the word balance, or think of the word balance, is even in our core. Instead of always being focused on the aesthetics, trying to get the abs, that's what we're always told. Let's look at the actual true functionality of that core, which is balancing your entire body. So that's where we have to even look at, even with our own lives. We are going to have that saucer plate full of meats and potatoes that should be on a plate. Sometimes we will, sometimes we won't. But it's how we actually align ourselves and go to the round table and maybe reevaluate certain steps that we have done so we can improve them. Just as we have discussed about, we need to be able to put into play action. We need to understand some of our failures so that we can better scale it, so we can better align ourselves to where we need to reposition ourselves so we don't fall off the Richter scale. And of course, take that time to rest and recover, reset, and let's go. Back over.
Absolutely. And my last comment will be for you guys when y'all thinking about this, because Camille mentioned the fishing pole and reeling back. You need that in a community. You need to surround yourself with people that's like that because people are often spoiled by praise. Rather than they like to be often spoiled by praise rather than saved by criticism. And don't take criticism as being a wrong thing. Criticism is just like what I do to Camille. Like we bounce off each other. Hey, and doing it in a way to be like, hey, you just gonna call a spade, period. And have them to reflect and think about it.
Exactly.
But don't be puffing up their collars. Like I said, I started this out saying I felt like if as a caregiver, as a mother, you know, as doing everything that I often felt guilty, right? Myself, for myself, being my own worst critic. But I said, it's good to have that table because then you can get that feedback too from your loved ones to often see. So, but don't don't allow the criticism to not save you. Don't get puffed up by the praise, you know, because that's only fluff. It's not the real stuff. The criticism, good, bad, or ugly, is still good for you to make what we're talking about. If you're stepping on your toes where you feel like this way, or whatever the kind of way you feel, sorry, apologies in ahead of time. But this is the realness of it all. So what, Buttercup? Suck it up.
Suck it up,
Let's
Buttercup.
go. You know, let's go. Let's make it move. Let's make it do what it do, and make it better. There's always room for improvement. I say, hey, you guys write down what you're doing right. What's what y'all got going on good?
Yeah.
You know, that's the good we talk about.
Yeah.
Then you can have improvements. Some things you might have to take away from some things, you know, to make it all work for everyone. But again, that criticism is a need. It's a necessity. The praise is great, but the criticism, the feedback is going to save you. And good, bad, or ugly is all good.
It's all
the negative is all good. Yes, exactly. So we hope that you guys can take away the tips, the little tricks, everything we talked about, and hopefully it has resonated with somebody to make it do what it do. You know, this is the stuff that's all, again, these are things of value that you take to your table. You can either put in your toolkit and you can bring it out at will when you need to.
Absolutely.
Basically.
And I'm going to end it off with this, and just two little quick things that I really have to say. But this is, everybody, what Janae said is, just think about, let's all just make the shape of an 8, right? The number 8 is constantly in motion. We're going to have our highs, and just as we're at our highs, we're going to go right back down to the lows. When we're down to the lows, we're going to get right back on the high. What we're always going to be doing is constantly moving. Just as Janae said, don't get stuck in the funk and don't get stuck in the glory, because there's going to be times where this too shall pass. But what are you going to do so that you could get back into whatever section of that figure 8 that you need to be in, right? So remember that. And why I want to segue to what she was saying there is that when it comes to, yes, we are part of the Mom Link, and yes, we're here to definitely have everybody a part of this amazing growing community. But we also want everyone to understand that our community is greater than just connecting and networking and having social events. You know, we see that all the time in communities. We're inundated with them, and they're lovely. I love them. As you can tell, I love to converse and socialize. But what I love, what we're building here in the Mom Link, and remember, yes, even though it says mom, it doesn't matter if you're a mom or not. It's for women in business in general. It was just created by a bunch of moms, and, you know, that's what stuck. But it's about women in business. And what we love about this community, it's really about not just networking and connecting, but really building our businesses together and being our support and our accountability. So if you're a part of this community already and you are not really coming to the table, the seats, they're waiting for you. So come back and come and sit at this table, and let's get you going. If you're not a part of the Mom Link, listen, we have plenty of seats waiting to come back. We have extenders on our table. We have extenders. It's about taking that action. Just as we said, if you know, not if, you know, period, with a T, you know, you need balance in all areas of life. That's just how it goes. Business, personal, professional, relationships, even in your children. That's why we have schedules, right? Or routines, even in schools. That's balance, right? So now it's time to take balance in your business and in your personal, and really do it with a community that wants to see you win. That's not just trying to sell you something or be sold to something. We're collectively being each other's marketing billboards and building a business together. So it's so much more, and we're excited to have you all. And if you are a part of the community, get that seat back at that table. And if you aren't just as yet, it's time to join us. We are going to be coming back to you next week with a spicy topic. This topic, I love it because I'm a wellness coach and I'm certified. What are we going to be talking about? Certification. Does it really matter? Should we have it? Should we not? This is going to be spicy because there's some great perspectives on if we should be, need be, or or could be, right? So next week's conversation is certification. Is it something that we need in our business? Why? And let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And I want us to keep it real. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. We'll see you in about 5 minutes in our Connect and Collab room here on the LinkedIn. Love you all. Actually, 2 minutes. So we got to go. See you all in the morning. Ciao.
All right. Look. Let me put my glasses back on, Camille, so I can see how we can close this room out
I
on
was
the
thinking the
phone.
same thing. You know what? This is what I love about us. We're just keeping it real. I was like, I hope Janine knows how to close this room because I don't know how to close it.
Oh, I see it right here.